What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Map number 2, Penta Esports in the lead right now, 1-0 after taking Mirage, but Kinguin looking to respond on a map like Dust 2, one they don't play that often, but again, still a new roster, still a lot of time to develop, and this is one of the maps that's been kind of wavering, kind of interesting for them.
Well, yeah, they've had some up and down results. I guess most recent being the win versus Navi. That's a pretty good result to stick with you into this. When it comes as for Penta, they've been also very up and down with it, but you know, they've managed to beat Mousesports when Mousesports picked this map against them. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a closely contested game. I think like before the game started, I thought this would be the closer of the two maps, but given how Penta actually won Mirage, I mean, who knows what to expect from the Germans.
Yeah, I mean, the individual skill, like Mirage is like, everyone always calls that like that pug map, right? Like it's so open that execution isn't the biggest thing. It's more about winning map control and winning duels, specifically like a spot like Long. If you win the duel at Long, you can now split a lot easier. You take more control of A and give yourself more options. So I think it's actually a decent choice for a team like Kinguin, who has so much skill, I would say, individually against a team like Penta. But they got to prove it. I mean, they got to win the T side. I think they have to handedly win the T side to make it possible.
I think they definitely need to do well on their T side as well, for sure. And it's going to be interesting to see how they manage to handle the op of Crystal and well, yeah, basically.
Did I say Long Mirage? Someone in chat said I said Long.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Mirage,
that might be the greatest call ever. Long A is what I meant.
Like Mirage is a pug map, and you've got Long, and I was like, wait, where is he going?
I meant Dust.
Yeah, I kind of figured that.
I'm still in the middle of my first coffee. Leave me alone.
Kind of figured that when you started mentioning Long and how that would open up the A-bomb site, so I was like, yeah, it's probably Dusty we're talking about. But yeah, no, it's going to be interesting to see, and, well, actually, you know, we say that the T side is going to be interesting for Kinguin, but I wouldn't be too surprised to see them start on the CT side if they win the ninth round. Because it is kind of the easier side to get into, even though, at times, well, you know, previously this has been a T-sided map.
Blades are just coming out sharp today. Bunch of Canadian hockey players up in here with their skates, eh? Could you imagine? That's what they should make, like, the ultimate knife in the game is a hockey skate. I'd be so happy as a Canadian.
I'm kind of expecting
like a skate blade, like a hacksaw. You just, like, pull out, like, you, like, pull it out of your... It's just fucking like a broken skate blade.
When Source 2 comes to CSGO, I'm assuming that's going to happen, because they're going to update the editor and whatnot for CSGO. So we're going to see a lot of more custom maps. I'm kind of just expecting like a hockey CS version thing with knives, or hockey sticks, I guess, instead. Which probably would be pretty fun to play.
Yeah, well, there's definitely some creativity to be had for like knives and stuff.
Yeah, I'm actually sort of like... I can't remember who it was that floated that idea first, but having Zeus rounds instead of knife rounds?
That was actually floated with when CS first came out, because in fact it was done in the show match. Do you remember the very first show match in beta?
In New York?
Yeah, the New York one where it was EU versus NA. They did a Zeus round for that map, and then I know at a charity LAN I was at, we did it, and it was, I mean, it was pretty entertaining, but at the same time it kind of wears out pretty quick.
Well, yeah,
it should be one shot with the Zeus, and once that's gone, you have to knife after that, obviously.
Yeah. But, you know, it's I guess it's an advantage for those who know the range of the Zeus.
Oh, this is interesting. Dennis getting really aggressive at mid. Already early damage on Fox, but he makes that work. So he gets in and gets out before the other two players can even respond. So really good movement from Dennis.
On the other hand, though, Fox pushing aggressively Long at the beginning got tagged down pretty low as well. So lost the duel kind of, you know, HP-wise versus Crystal. So even though they're man up, still people can pretty easily fall, but Kinguin has a pretty solid setup here on A, and it looks like that's where Penta wants to take it.
And Rain's just like waiting. He just knows that they're going to come along eventually, and the flash confirms that there at least was a presence there, but having not come through after that, it might indicate that in fact they are going to group, and they are going to go, and it's going to be Catwalk they look to. Around the corner they already are. As Strux looks to try and come in. It's Crisby to take down the first kill. Fox getting dropped down, though, by Stavros makes this a lot harder for the retake of Kinguin. And Rain's coming down now. Bomb's going to get planted for Cat because they've got the pistols, they've got the presence, they can secure it. There are two players working in that direction, and Rain needs to be careful not to get caught as Crystal still looking for the shots against him right now. And he's falling a long way off it. He's just waiting for Michael Lele and co to win this play up on Catwalk, and Michael Lele's found the first drop immediately after, but good trade by Scream. Excellent chance here. Now Rain from afar has to try and get this USB working, almost hitting the second shot, not able to do so. It's down to just him, 4 HP, has to switch guns. And not a lot of time, so what more can he do in terms of damage? Finding one, looking for something miraculous with the jump, not going to happen. So this round will go the way of Penta. In fact, Crystal will make sure of that, and it's going to be a third pistol round for them in this best of 3.
Yeah, Kinguin had a pretty okay setup there for holding off that that short push from Penta, but Dennis not getting a kill, not surviving for longer, kind of left Fox in a pretty awkward situation with so little HP as he had. I mean, you don't even have, you could literally just graze his toe and he's gonna die in that situation, and he has nowhere to really back off of from long when Penta are actually committed to the push. So all of a sudden, Kinguin go from having a pretty solid defense to just being immediately gone from that A-bomb site. But they've actually have to go with 3 scouts here. I could do a ton of damage, but I think it's going to be onto Fox here to lay in some good damage before Penta get even close to the site.
Stavros is going to wait at mid too, just to make sure no one's going to push aggressively, so they want to make sure these rifles are used correctly in this 3 scout setup. I love it. Kinguin's actually the team that's been doing this more than anyone, because they just have so much confidence in their individual aim. Like, you occasionally see Envious go for 2 scouts, you'll see teams like Fnatic go for 2 scouts. 2 scouts isn't that uncommon, but picking up the 3rd one, that's pretty impressive stuff. It's a big commitment. Fox actually does early damage with that Tech 9, or excuse me, rather that 5-7. That's actually pretty important, because now those scouts can come into play with damage already dealt, and they managed to pick up a 2nd kill with the CZ75 of Scream, so things looking okay. As it gets down to a 4 versus 3, Struxy on only 1 HP, he's dropped. This is looking alright. Michaelele gonna look through the smoke. Bomb still has to cross it long in that gap. Is he going to throw it across? That's the better question. I think he'll look to. Yep, that's going to be the play. And smartly so, because he knows that Michaelele is firmly hyper-focused with that scout in position to take him down, as the bomb's going to get planted now by Stavros. And he's got the AK, but domed up already. This is looking amazing now. If he can get 2 here, his job might be okay. He might be in a good position, but he's not even going to be able to do that. Fox will manage to take him down, and Michaelele would just have to hold and secure along with the scout, looking for the jump on Crystal, who has to go for the repeak eventually, and as soon as he does, okay, well, there's a team kill from Scream. Either way, it's Scream that got Crystal just before that, and it will be another eco, similar to how we started on Mirage.
Yeah, and again, Fox managing to do damage early on to one of the Penta players pushing up from long makes the job so much easier, because Dennis gets the first frag following up on that damage done by Fox. Penta's push slow down significantly. The guys, I think there were 3 guys at that point who was holding around middle, which was Rain, Michael, and Scream. They all managed to rotate in towards CT spawn and managed to pick off people as they were crossing. Yeah, just a solid job from Kinguin, but that comes down to them hitting their shots, and if Fox doesn't get any damage done, then all of a sudden, you know, Penta has a really good opportunity to get onto the site.
Dennis is just holding the angle, so it's actually going to be a car hold with an an M4. Not an op yet, because it's not out, and the first player is going to go for that drop, but they've got a crossfire set. That allows Scream to cover over as they come back across, and Dennis just waiting on ramp. Really well held. Really well done by Kinguin to be prepared for a catwalk push.
And they did that blindly as well, because they had 2 people inside on the B-bomb side, but it makes sense knowing that Penta's going to have to eco, because the kind of damage you can do from just being in mid with pistols against rifles isn't that dangerous. It's a lot more tricky to hold off a B push if you have 5 people gunning in with Tech 9s towards you and you're alone on that B-bomb side, so I think that's a smart decision from Kinguin, just to play it as a group and playing it passively.
That smoke was horribly thrown. That was actually thrown from the player in CT over the now disappearing skybox, but it hit the back of the door, so it leaves a massive gap. That's not hard to correct, though. That's just a simple call from the teammate at long sight. Throw that more left.
Yeah, no, pretty much. And, well, Penta obviously having bought up. Not that many smokes to go with, but they still have 3 smokes, so they can potentially either smoke off, make a bit of a wall towards long here if they want to go up short, which is kind of what it's looking like they want. Or they can smoke off the entire site and plant for short and just hold off from back there.
Rain wants that damage, but Crisby only took a ricochet down to 4, or down 4, excuse me. So 96 still remaining. As he'll counter flash that over, just to be a nuisance, because he can't really push through 2 sets of doors that quickly to use that in his own advantage. If anything, he might hope that it pushes him further away and just gets him out of position so he can get back inside the cave. And Fox, he's going to take down Stavros. Looking for more as he gets another one on Struxy. So Fox looking all right now on the CT side. Is Dennis going to get the trade and the refrag on the Tapson, and the rest is held on well. Dennis picking up 2, Ring contributing with another.
Pretty poorly executed from Penta though. Stavros being they did the lemming drop strat, and it pretty much ended up being Stavros dropping down into spawn, nobody actually pushing out after him, and you need that. Even if it's going to be one more guy dropping down towards spawn, or towards slope, or if there's going to be just people pushing out towards the site from catwalk, if nobody does that, then Stavros is just an easy target. So he dies before he gets anything done because Dennis commits to actually getting the kill from A-slope, and Penta don't get any ground at all with their smokes down, and eventually they just use too much time. So that was pretty poorly executed from them. And now, again, Kinguin knowing that they're up against an eco doing the same thing, and this time we're going to see Penta go out through mid. And this should be pretty okay and easy for Kinguin to hold.
And through though, you said easy, it's not starting off that way, as Struxy and Crisby going to take down both inside the B site. They can do nothing to hold the angle. As Crisby again will just have to wait this out. As the retake looking to come in. 3 players inside mid, as we can see all 3 players inside mid. As they head toward window, but Crisby in a perfect position to see the head pop through from Rain. Tapson's already got Dennis and Foxy. He's now left in a 1-on-4, and thank you very much. I enjoy my M4, but what he doesn't know is that Crystal enjoys middle, and he's going to hold on to it. So it's going to be 3-2. Penta, actually, yes, okay, it is. I hate that bomb down thing. I always get confused. So 3-2. And that's the score. Please Volvo fix so that my small brain can't keep up.
And, well, we go from seeing a pretty awful execution from Penta to seeing pretty awful execution from Kinguin there. There's no way the 2 members on Kinguin inside of B there should be able to, well, to croak that easily from pretty much Glocks coming running at them. Michael definitely should have picked up 1 kill before he goes down just by the initial peeking door, and I'm not really sure why Scream was so unattentive to what was going through, coming through window as well. I mean, you could definitely position themselves to a place where you can only get focused on from window if they have either just 1 smoke through dark, or towards upper dark, or not. But they're going to do the exact same thing once again.
Smoke going to go out to catwalk. But Scream now in a slightly better position than they were the first time to hold on to it, and he's going to walk out 1, 2, 3. They just lined up. Actually, take that back. Michael did actually collect the first. It looked like it was Scream, but either way, now it's Crystal to go for the refrag, and he's got the chance because Michael Haley is low HP as well, and now it's Fox to try and do something of it. As he works back up to the door, he needs to retake this site. Fortunately, this time there is no bomb plan, and there's only 1 player standing in their way, so Fox, if he knew his HP, he could almost just walk in solo, and there it is. Nate comes out, he catches him in transition, drops him down, and Kinguin double up again.
Yeah, and there you see how easy it should have been for Kinguin in that previous round. This time they do get the smoke down indoors, which is a big advantage as well, because Penta's not going to run through that, because it's pretty much suicide. That was probably the biggest difference. They got the smoke down sooner, but you know, obviously them getting the kills as well, hitting those shots, makes a pretty big difference. And I'm kind of surprised to see that they might be expecting an eco this time around as well, but they're just really happy to leave mid completely open and let Penta have as much room as they want to work around with.
Tapson looking to try and join his teammate Crisby as he flashes himself through, and he's got him. Rain's so blind, he tries to go back but can't get around the corner, and Tapson actually saw him go for the jump. So before his vision was restored, Tapson was already ready for him. Stavros now trying to get up catwalk. Look at the amount of players in his way, but that AK does all right on the first one. It's Dennis to go down. Scream looking to get boosted at elevator. Unfortunately, that elevator is in service. It's going to lift him, propel him to the second story, but it's going to come in right now from Crisby, who takes down Foxy. So this is still going in with the body, just goes flying of Tapson. Belly flops back to Crisby, and he'll jump through that fire just to pick up the bomb. Only takes a little bit of damage from that, and they'll fall back, because Michael Lele, they know he's left on the A site, so 3 players up. This bomb's headed to B. It'll be interesting to see if Struxy actually stays on this side of mid and goes through tunnels. He does. So they're putting the reliant play right now on Crystal with the op to cover the cross, rather than the AK pushing through and cutting him off entirely. So it's Crystal to hit this shot. Scopes out at the wrong time. Tags him through the door nonetheless. So nice reactive shot to figure out exactly where he was going to be. That means Michael Lele's chances of getting in far less opportunistic. What's the word I'm looking for?
Likely.
Thanks,
the
bro.
The likelihood of him getting in.
Thanks,
but
man.
Yeah, we got there in the end, right? But yeah, it puts Kinguin on an eco. So already we're looking at actually kind of a similar situation as we did on Mirage. A lot of rounds being traded back and forth at the start, and eventually Penta just firms their grip on the game. If they can win the T side here as well, then they should be pretty happy about that.
Fox actually just wants to try and get some information here, try to push out these A doors, but now there's 3 players waiting. So good luck with that 5-7, bud. Although there is 2 other players in position, so it's a bit of a standoff right now. Struxy hoping someone's going to push through B for information, and now they go. The terrorists in position. A little bit of team damage shot out because Crystal was in the way of his teammate, so he gets taken down, actually the lowest of anyone that's still alive, 23. But as I was saying, that rain got drops to 11, so 2 men down, 5 men still up with the guns. Anti-eco looking all right so far, and Rain going to push back into where those doors a little bit closer, but Bomb, it's going back all the way through T-spawn. They want to make sure that they're on these pistol rounds. No one pushed up Catwalk to try and get in behind them. And instead, now they got the B site to work with. Because here's Scream, he was looking for that position to try and cut them off.
Yeah, no, Penta just playing this as safely as possible. Crispy already holding upper dark, so the rotation coming in from Scream is not going to do anything at all. And well, Kinguin can, I guess, hope to get a pistol or 2, but that's about it.
Crisby reading this so well, based on the fact that he knew they were pushed up A long. Not only did they read it not to go back to mid, Crisby's now knowing exactly where the rotations are going to come from, and he's searching. He knows they're going to look for exits. He's checking every corner. We'll see if he checks the one where there is actually a person, and he does, thankfully, because Rain's very low on HP, so no exit kill to go there. And Michael waiting all the way over at long, desperately hoping someone's going to hunt for him, but why would they when he's only got the USB?
Yeah, it's not exactly the grand prize if you're Penta. Oh well, Penta get a flawless round. They managed to stay with everyone alive. Pretty solid eco, or anti-eco from their end. And well, there's actually, oh, this is a big commitment. I mean, because Fox is enough for that off, they're actually going to decide to buy up. But they're going to have quite a few nades. I mean, or it's going to be a distinctive lack of nades. This is a better way of putting it, and that could be an issue for Kinguin here. Aggressive push on short though. They're going to boost up the op here, and I think they need to get something out of this if they want to stay aggressive, and they're just going to fall back as soon as Fox gets flashed. And again,
this is interesting. Completely smokeless mid as he goes for the initial peek. They'll put a late smoke out now that he knows it's clear. So looking for that first kill early, but then now the rush. As Michael wait inside closet. Flash has actually come out, but slow reaction from Tapset as he was also partially blinded. That allows Crisby and Stavros to come in second though and at least get the refrag +1. Fox through the smoke, through the door, just spamming in to be able to pick up one on Crisby. It's almost frustrating, but again, they've still got 3 players up and they have the site. 2 of which of those players are inside. Watch for the flank though. They've got to be careful because here it comes. It's going to be hot on their heels. Crystal looking for one, not able to collect. Now he does, and he smartly backs himself out of there. So this will just play in the heads of Kinguin, but they still want to go. Fox is around the door already, and he gets the no-scope up close. Actually, take that back. Quick scope, but nonetheless, it's Struxy to go down. He's on the defuse. He's going to hold this 10 seconds, and they have to rely on Rain to keep this close, and he does. Crystal down, 1 to hold, 1 to defuse, and just barely does he have it? He does. Okay, good job. Kinguin win the round. Not a second too soon to hold that defuse.
Well, that was a millisecond of difference. Jesus Christ. That's the round that Penta should have. They're in a favorable position. I mean, obviously you can talk about the Crystal's flank. Even though he gets the kill, I think him missing the first shot, that messes up the ramp for Penta. I think they would have been better off just holding 3 people passively on the side in a situation like that, because the retake for Kinguin is so tough to do, especially with the lack of nades that they had. And with him just kind of giving it away early on that he's behind them, and they can still go in with an equal number, that makes it so much easier for Kinguin to just kind of rush in towards B.
Tapson looking toward Catwalk. Drop the bomb so we can go on the hunt.
Ooh, Crystal pushing in towards city spawn. Gets taken out. This is something Penta did versus Mousesports as well. They do this weird A-split through mid, which is not something you see that very often, but didn't quite work out that time. We'll get Dennis though, so it's all on Rain here to hold this bomb site off. But I don't think they have any clue that he might be in Goose.
Struxy looking for something out of this as the smoke slowly dissolves toward mid. And Tabson has already worked up Catwalk. This is working out so well because it's slow, and pros. Man, like just calculate this walk up Catwalk. They don't even need to cover it off. They had a player defuse or planting rather with a CT that was still coming up ramp. That was just so slow and calculated.
Yeah, and that should have been Kinguin's round. That was just a pretty awful display of shooting from Rain and Goose there. He had a ton of time to actually kill Crispy, whiffs a ton of shots, and Crispy eventually gets the kill. But if Crispy dies, all of a sudden it creates more space, and you get more help from Long as well. No, I think that round was just simply on Rain whiffing his shots on Crispy there. And yeah, winning one round, losing the next one, never going to do any good if you're in the situation Kinguin find themselves in. So they're back to Nico. Very aggressive play up in mid though.
Just going to say, we saw it there from mid perspective as two players worked up. They're actually still going to go on this flank. Dennis will be the first to get there. The only thing that could shut this down, it's not going to, is Struxy. He was inside Suicide, inside Dark, and he didn't spot anyone going by, so there won't be a call. So this could still work out, and Dennis has already got in position to get one from the flank. Bombs down, 2 onside the platform, as Ring down below does a little bit of damage. But Stavros now picking up another. Crystal's going to hold. Waits out perfectly on that shoulder peek, and Fox can't really do much at all, so it's left to Rain. We saw him inside CT. Instead, he's going to look for exits, but that actually could have been quite peculiar if those USBs were in a little bit closer position from Long. Being at that distance, we saw Dennis pick up the first, but they couldn't do anything more.
Yeah, no, it's if they've gotten, behind them sooner, or if they had proper weapons. If they had 2 rifles going behind there, then all of a sudden that's a complete game changer. But as you said, USPs from the far back at Long towards the far back on the east side, not going to be the biggest threat. Could actually have been more interesting if Strux had pushed aggressively, spotted the mount, then died and given away an AK. Yeah, Kinguin again find themselves in a situation where they have an op, but lackluster rifles, 3 FAMASs around, and again, not a lot of nades to work with. They managed to hold it off the prior time they had a buy like this, but I don't know, I don't think they should be able to do that twice.
I like Rain's position. I like it once in a blue moon. Just one of those spots.
Could definitely catch people off guard, and especially if they don't have heavy pressure on Long. If they put 1 or 2 there, then that's a golden position to use at times. Obviously, if they push out with 4 people, then you're gonna get screwed anyway, and the opposition gets a ton of momentum towards that A-bomb site. But right now, it's looking pretty good, and the aggression again from Kinguin, from upper dark into lower.
Well, now they're in side B. They'll fall back because they've got the information, they've got the kill, there's no reason to overcommit a little bit of information. Now, there's still a possibility they can rotate back over on that site, but Michaelele taking down Crisby, it's just slowly but surely cutting into the advantage that the T's thought they had to start the round. And Stavros is in a really peculiar spot. This may actually work because he hasn't been spotted, he hasn't made any noise. Now he's going to shoot that AK. The player inside A is going to have heard that, and he can't pick up the second. If he could have taken down Fox there, it could have been all over. Instead, it goes to 2-on-2. The B site is open for business, though. And the pressure now comes on to Struxy because he's got to cut off this rotation point. He's going to hear the first player, and Fox going toward tunnels. Man, Struxy almost missing that shot with 13. Not something you want to do, but takes down Fox, who was completely unsuspecting of the position. And it's left to Michaelele. Op in hand.
No nades.
No nades, partially blind from that initial flash. Now that indicates that there's one over to the left, so he goes for the quick scope toward tunnels. That gives away his position because they still thought there was a chance he could work through lower, and he goes for the no scope. Not going to happen. Tabson's too close to allow it. It's going to be now another round for Penta, so similar to Mirage, they're looking good on their T side.
Looking very strong, and with that being a full investment from Kinguin, they're going to have to eco once again. And as long as Penta just make sure that they play their anti-ecos properly and don't mess anything up, they should be looking at 8 rounds here. But we've seen Kinguin win at least 2 eco rounds so far.
Rip my Twitter. There's a shot from Tapson. Checks it perfectly. The Kerrigan spot not going to do anything for Rain. So easy. Again, graphics settings make such a difference in that spot because of the flames in the car. It's almost like Valve need to get rid of them because it is a bit of an advantage in certain situations. The same can be said, though, for the Molotovs, because the smoke isn't always apparent depending on your settings. It can be quite dense at the top level of them.
Oh, for sure.
Scream's going to go aggressive in mid again. He actually does the damage this time onto Crystal, but he's just going to run away and hide. Doesn't even want to take the fight. He's got the op, but never mind. He's already let him up so close that he's not going to risk it because losing an op to a CZ, not worth it. Crisby now taking down Michaelele, though. Look at the stack, though, on A. The 3 remaining players are all here. They're all crouching. They're not all exposed, and Crisby gets one through the box, looks for another, takes down Dennis as his head pops up, and thank you very much, Stavros, for the 3rd kill. Bomb's going to go down after the round ends, so $300 for one player. I think it was Crisby who put it in place, but 8 now for Penta.
8 rounds, and again, Kinguin, similar situation. If they lose this round, they're not going to have that much to buy up within the last round, so, you know, could very easily be double figures for Penta if they pick up this round. Very big investment as well. First time we're seeing double ops on Kinguin.
We'll see if it pays off. So Fox, we saw him use it on Mirage at Catwalk. Dennis gonna pick it up, not Michaelele. This is another team that's got so much op potential. It's kind of like Flipside when you look at it in that way. You got Simple, you have World Edit when he's there, obviously, and then you have Markelov.
Yeah. They definitely have a lot of prospects that they can pick up the op for sure. But yeah, right now they're opting, I guess they're opting to not go with Michaelele because he plays on the inside of B most of the time.
Scream's going to use that scaffolding from the lower position so you can still spot over. You don't have as much of an angle to peek toward mid, but you have so much more cover from that spot. It's a little bit harder. You've got the board to protect on bullet penetration as well, but nice shot through the smoke. Taps an 8 HP down, but Fox still gets the kill. It's Michaelele to follow up with it, so far, the op making, at least one of the ops making a bit of a presence here. Scream going to get inside. 1 HP. Knows now someone's coming as that smoke goes out, and if Stavros doesn't check the closet, he will go down. Luckily, he does. That'll allow the bomb, and look how quickly the bomb comes over. There's still 23 seconds, but if Struxy can get this in place as they're low on HP, it would be massively beneficial. And there it is. Crispy. This is a crazy spot for Crisby to be in. He's going to pick up 1. That smoke's still in place, looking for 2, lined up for 3, not going to happen, but Dennis gets refragged immediately by Struxy because Crisby does all the work just waiting patiently.
Yeah, great positioning for Crisby, and I'll never understand quite fully how an op can do 98 and 2. I mean, I get that it's through an object, but I would have expected it, you know, it makes more sense if it does 50 or 70 damage, not 98. It's just like such a random number. And again, they're able to tag up Michaelele. He's been tagged up the last 3 rounds in a row. Tabs is just YOLOing completely out on the B bomb site all by himself. I think that was a pretty big mistake. But luckily for them, Fox decides to do the same thing on A.
It's going to be Scream that falls out of B site, gives it up, goes back in for the peek, and man, oh man, that guy's aim when it's on is just so good. Stavros with no answer to that whatsoever. So it'll leave them down a man, but Crystal claw that back, take down Rain. Good pop flash. Michaelele using it to his own advantage. The nade almost catches him on his escape. He's down to 20. So we'll see if he stays passive and allows Dennis to go. No, in fact, they're all going to rotate over to Cat to go for the retake. So not going to be a shuffle, not going to slide at all. It's going to be Strux that gets the bomb down. Open plant for long. And I said they were going to go Cat. That's where 2 players are heading. So this could actually work out for Kinguin if they can beat Crystal to the punch. Shots are coming in against him, and now he realizes it. He's going to switch to the AK because he has to try and win these duels. First is successful, second not going to happen. Dennis gets it back, so it's left onto the site. Struxy brings it back to a one-on-one, and he's got the advantage because Dennis, 42 HP, tries to get a little bit closer. And Struxy's going to use this sound to his advantage, spots him up as he drops. Now he's also spotted in return, so he's just biding himself some time, and what a reaction shot. Double digits, Penta, as they're already up 1 map. This is looking very good.
They're just playing extremely well right now. Just cutting Kinguin apart. Didn't really matter if they went, you know, what they mainly did pretty much every round is, well, first of all, they got mid control, and Kinguin never really opted to challenge that at all. And from there on out, Penta decided to either have those splits through mid towards B, which wasn't really splits either. They just kind of ran out with everyone and had Crystal just lurking about up in lower tunnels. Or they would set up for those catwalk pushes, which worked out pretty nicely as well. But that's kind of the risk you run into. That's the same thing, that issue that TSM had for the longest time when they refused to play aggressively on that site. Or on this map in general.
And the entrance is absolutely perfect right now from Kinguin. Not a lot of HP loss as they get inside that B site. Tapson was at mid, though, to take back Dennis. So now it's all to play for on a retake with only 2 men. Michaelele going to try and beat them over there. Need going to come out from Scream, and Tapson collecting one more brings us back a little bit closer. Remember, it's 3-0 in pistol rounds right now for Penta, but Kinguin desperately need this one to make this all possible. They're going to split up on the CT side as Tapson looking to catch them off guard. No one peeking yet from the tunnel. Scream hits the shot at the doorway, and it's already exposed now as Rain popped out, but Fox is going to be the one that gets the assist on the kill. Made it all possible for that single bullet to collect it. It's going to be 10-6.
Very much needed round for Kinguin. They can finally get off to a pretty decent start here. Which they haven't done so far, even though they've picked up 2 eco rounds. But not the greatest place to be in. And, well, Michael decides to, he wants to keep that streak going. So, Stavros already down. And,
and a tag.
Yeah.
Good start from Michaelele.
Not the biggest investment, though, from Penta. It's pretty much tabs and only. He was picked up a scout who spent all of his money in this round.
Scream looking. Someone hopefully shows their face, and he gets domed up. He gets down to 27, so swap it over. Let Dennis go in first so they can keep Scream alive, and Dennis makes no mistake. Smart choice, keeping them alive again, but the flash comes out both directions. Crystal also blinded, so despite that one went in, one went out. And it actually works out in favor of Kinguin. Tapson looking for the tag on the cross. Scream again, still on 27, so no one hit by that, but Rain down below does catch Crispy. And Dennis already hunting for the last player remaining at Tapson as he has a scout and they want to get this dropped. But he's going to use it to full effect on the first shot, tagging up on the second, but fortunately Foxy with the Galil is going to hit him down.
Yeah, we're going to get a pause from Kinguin here. Most likely just a minor issue, I would assume. I mean, it doesn't really make sense for them to take, for instance, a tactical timeout when they're actually winning right now. They haven't ran into a problem, so...
I wish on the scoreboard, for the sake of, like, obviously you can go back through and see how many players survived in each ensuing round, which is, I think that's a great addition, and see how the round was won. I think that's a really smart addition for the scoreboard. But I wish it would add a total kill feature, so that you could look and talk about kill distribution. Because right now, like, Crisby has at 18, but they only have 3 players in double digits, and Kinguin have 4 players in double digits, but they've got Rain on low H. Like, obviously I could go through and do it in my head, but it would just be cool to, like, look instantly and be like, alright, well, this team's obviously out-fragging the other, which plays obvious... Like, sure, it's not the most important stat, but it's just, like, it could add to the interest of the game. Because let's say they're, like, dead even in kills right now, but obviously they're 3 rounds... Right, but they're 3 rounds down. That just says that, like, the rounds they're, like...
Somebody's saving a lot more.
Someone's saving a lot more. The rounds they're losing are actually a lot closer than the rounds that, like, that Penta wins. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
The other way around. You know what I meant.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I also wish there was a way to display ADR a lot easier, because I think that's the most underused and probably best stat.
I think that one would have to be done in that would have to be done in the queue. I mean, it is, but it's, again, it's not very clear, right?
Yeah, it's very wobbly. I mean, it's not the clearest thing in the world. And I know that the 2 lines under the player names and whatnot, where you see first and second half, all this
team
stuff.
Average.
That's not accurate. The one that's under players. So that's a bit of an issue as well. But ADR is a pretty good indication of seeing how much players actually do. So a guy could have 4 frags, but still do like massive amounts of ADR.
Oh, Michaelele, that shot. What a reaction as he watches Crystal cross. I thought he was, like, literally sitting there almost, like, spaced out, and then he just snaps over and nails it. 2 kills did come in before that, so the advantage is still in the favor of Penta, but that was pretty nuts.
Yeah, and Penta also had a heavy rotation over towards the B bomb site, so, after getting those 2 first kills, the A bomb site was completely open for Kinguin to get onto there, and even though they're man down... They have a good plan. Michaelele has a scout. They should be able to do something with it.
Struck's looking to try and shut down more, but Habson's actually going to get dropped. So Michaelele having a great round now as he picks up a 3rd with the scout. Finally dropped with an equally good shot from an AK back the other direction, but that bomb's still ticking and that smoke still deployed. Scream will come around, and his headshot percentage, 9,000.
9,000%.
You could say it might even be over that.
Full-on Goku, or Super Saiyan. I guess, yeah, he does have Saiyan in his nickname, so it's fitting, right? It's a solid reference.
He knows what's up. So interesting that we're going to see this 3 presence long, but it's with a really early pick from a single player, and that's going to be Crystal to make the kill. Scream again, though, nailing one as Crispy sliding over to the left, tries to get a different angle, but touchdown pass from Tabson, bounces it off the wall, knowing that he's crossed over to the dumpster. Smoke deployed, allows Tabson to push in behind the doorway. Crossing back over, putting shots through. Very good damage dealt onto Dennis. And more damage as well put onto Fox, but they actually did get a nade onto him as well, so 12 as he goes for the cross just fires in. USB's going to do it. Now he's in a position where he can swap places with his teammate, potentially stay alive a little bit longer, and get the high HP player in a better angle. Second nade, yep, he's going to go back in. That's interesting.
I think that's silly. They could have easily just hung out, set one guy in pit, just camped it out, and been perfectly happy with that. Now the A side is actually open, and Crystal can't really cross over towards A, you know, cross along that long area because he's so low on HP that he has to be afraid of someone picking out from Longhouse. And it looks like, well, it feels like Kinguin are aware of that fact because they're moving up short here. They're still going to have to deal with a retake, which is going to be tough to do, seeing how there's 2 full HP members on pit to still, but yeah, at least they should be able to get a bomb plant out of this.
Crystal on to Michaelele as the bomb does go down. That's a big kill because that leaves only one player left, and that one player, man, we said it in Mirage. Look at the amount of nade kills today.
Yeah, no, Penta are definitely nailing where they're throwing their nades. And normally you see more and more teams kind of drop that grenade instead of going for Molly and having 2 flashes in the smoke instead of having that 1 HE, but Penta showing that, you know, you can still put some good value damage onto people with it. So that's nice to see. But yeah, pretty easy round for Penta actually, which they kind of almost threw away with Tabs and try to go aggressive. At least gave Kinguin the opportunity to get a bomb plant and actually an okay buy-in.
Now it's Scream's turn. Again, the flames though, look at that. Oh, he does spot him. He could see him just above the flames, so good reaction shot to take down Strucksheet. That's what we're talking about. In certain situations, in certain settings, you don't always have that vision over top of the incandescents, the dense smoke, etc. But now it's Crystal with the op looking for something in middle. And they are grouping slowly, so I'm not sure if they're going to go through this door or just try to get that establishment so they can open up their options, but they are actually going to go. A passive entry to try and cover off CT, potentially a late smoke. Crystal falls out of the window, actually favors the T's a little bit. There's that late smoke. The flash as well, but Crispy has the opportunity now to push as fast as he can in towards CT. That's what he's going to do. There's no gap in that smoke, aside from the top right corner, and he's not going to have to sit back on ramp to make that viable. He wants to get up close and take the fight. But it's all for naught so far. It's a bit of a fake. They've got one lurk player inside that mid. That's Fox. The rest are grouping catwalk, so we'll see if he just wants to contain the B players while they wrap, and it's actually going to work because Tabson's rotating out. He spots one just in time to come back. This will call for his teammate to come back out of CT, but so far, things looking well for Kinguin on this approach because they've got Penta off the A site. They have to play for a retake despite that it's a 4-on-4, and that means the bomb's already gone down. So Stavros going to group up now and try and get back on catwalk. Jumps up quickly on top of Xbox, but Rain is waiting on the inside of that smoke. He's just going to spam into it, and he spots Rain, takes him down. Making it a little bit more possible for them to make this happen is Michaelele with the jump scout. Hitting up the first shot, goes for the second jump, snaps to his left but can't connect. It's Dennis's turn to take the action, take away the camera spotlight. His 2 players pushing onto him. He's got the AK, the first player, he takes down his teammate and Scream, but Dennis comes back around, falls at the bottom of the stairwell, so he's committed to taking this peek, and Crystal's going to win it. And they're already on the defuse. Well done by Penta on the retake. It's going to be another round for them, and Kinguin, money is gone.
Money is definitely gone. Even with the bomb plant, money is gone. So they're in a pretty dire situation, and that was very well done by Penta. I didn't see Stavros' point of view, but you said that he spotted out Rain. Did he actually see him, like his leg or something behind that smoke? Because it felt pretty random.
Yeah, I think spotted out was the wrong term. I think able to connect on the spam was the better way of putting it.
Yeah, because that was just a really fortunate, and you know, if you're Penta, it's a really fortunate situation that you actually managed to find the first opening and give yourself a main advantage.
Oh, that fire though. Tabson's on 9 HP. And that fire is going to do more damage, but it doesn't matter. They control long, so they try and push it all the way through. They only get 1 kill in the return. They almost get Tabson, but no bomb and only 1 kill. They're letting the economy develop now for Penta.
Yeah, and well, every buy for Kinguin is going to be like it is right now. They're going to just sink all of their money into every single buy. Michael doesn't even have armor for this buy, so yeah, glass cannon op coming out.
He saw that flash thrown, which was smart. The problem is it was timed to set so that they have another player that's crossed over. So there's 3 on the B side, and Michael Lily only saw 1 cross.
Ooh, and taps and
Ooh.
full YOLO, just doing the Shoxy push right there up mid.
And safely returned.
Yeah, exactly. He does the anti-Shoxy thing afterwards, which is just, you know, being happy with that 1 frag.
So Michael Lele is still hanging around in mid right now. They want to try and get this back over toward B as they look to cross back in their own spawn. They're actually going to leave Fox, the high HP player, on the A side. So what's the call going to be? It looked like originally it was B. Now they're going to group mid. And a flash out long just to be sure. That'll put Tabs in position, but a counter flash coming out. There's 2 players here. They only need 1. It's Crispy to get the shot on Fox. The second player was inside pit, so now Fox can actually leave to support on Catwalk. Should Kinguin elect to go that direction?
Right now, Kinguin are severely damaged. Have 2 people down on 20 HP. Only Michaelela with 100 HP, and he doesn't have armor. So as soon as he gets connected on with 1 bullet, his aim is going to fly all over the place. This is just an extremely hard situation to get out of, especially given how they have 2 smokes and a flash. That's it.
Crisby again going to be in this position we talked about. Can catch people off, but it's not necessarily overlooked all the time. Regardless, they haven't used it yet. Nonetheless, Michael Lele on site going to manage to take down 1. That means they've got to turn this player back from long to support, but not if Crystal and Struxy can do that, because Crispy's now left by his lonesome and time's gone. There's nothing they can do. Michael Lele, or rather, excuse me, Scream, way over at the B side, at least holds on to the AK, but 2 rounds to go for Penta, and again, the bracket is, this is lower bracket. It is double elimination, but these 2 came through from the lower side of the groups. Loser of this is gone.
Yeah, loser of this is gone, and right now Penta are in a prime position to shut Kinguin out completely. 2-0 in maps. It's definitely not what I expected coming into this. And already Struck starting off strong. Crystal following it up with a frag on Dennis. And, well, I'm not sure what you can do with Scout, Tech 9, and a Galil. And that few nades. Someone has to step up absolutely massively for Kinguin if they want to have a shot at this.
So Tabson opening up. Pretty straightforward duel. Oh, Struxy almost gets taken down as he looks to dodge that flash. Managing still to respond, though, to take down Michael Lele. And Crispy coming back through mid. Will close the round as Rain trades with his teammate. And that's going to be match point. This is a dire match point. Okay, so they do manage to bring out 1 more AK for Dennis. We'll see what they can possibly hope to achieve as Tabson's already up middle. Michael Lele opens up again with the scout. Another wall shot through the door, but he gets caught out trying to transition over toward long A. And Tabson, you called the shocks push. Well, it's the anti-shocks again. So Tabson being very smart about his approach and taking mid. Sticks around a little longer this time to see if lower dark is going to have any presence. But so far, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, this is looking pretty awful for Kinguin. They already are down to 1 Molotov left. That's it. And they still haven't gotten onto a bomb site. And Tabson, well, he's doing the Shocks 2.0, going back again later on in the round, finds Dennis. And I think he knows Scream is there as well.
Scream, though, still makes this work, so surprising that they pulled this back, and the HP's dead even now, as is the weaponry. Head armor for all 4. 4 HP versus 2 HP in terms of Crystal versus Rain, but 78 versus 68 in terms of Scream versus Crispy, so it still favors Team Kinguin in the end, as very low HP on that last player inside the site. It's Crystal to go down. As we do, by the way, have a ghost inside CT. That threw me for a bit of a loop that time, but it's Crispy, the last one that's left. He's going to try and go for this retake. The fire's going to do damage, and oh, it's Scream to go down, so now it's Rain with only 2 HP up against the 15 of Crispy. Next shot's going to win this game. Or rather, this round, I should say, but it is going to be the game as Crispy will do it. So it will be 16 rounds now for Penta. They'll defuse it, and not only that, they'll defuse the hopes of Team Kinguin because they are out. They are done.
Yeah, no, just very surprising to see Penta being that convincing as well in their wins. 16-10, 16-8, that's just remarkable numbers for them. So great showing from the German side, and it seems like CounterPit is kind of their league because they seem to step up their game whenever they play here.
domination. German servers confirmed. Either way, though, this is Team Kinguin that came in to replace NIP due to scheduling issues with NIP, just how busy they were. Kinguin, the last team into the league, the first team out of the playoffs. Mount Sports flip side, they'll play. Winner of that plays against Penta, and then the upper bracket will begin. It's going to be Navi versus Envious, whatever Envious iteration we're about to see, and TSM versus Virtus Pro, which is all. I mean, that's one of my favorite rivalries right now. That's always a good match, online or off.
Fun. Yeah, no, they always provide good matches. It's going to be fun to see Virtus Pro play again as well. I mean, they obviously weren't able to attend ESWC because Taz got married, so it's going to be fun to see them in action again.
Yeah, exactly. Congratulations to Taz for marriage, by the way.
Oh, for sure. I actually think that's kind of cool with the Virtus Pro team, because I'm pretty sure the entire lineup was there at his wedding. So, you know, it shows the camaraderie amongst the fellas. All good friends showing up for each other.
Yeah, those guys are definitely super decent bros. They played together forever. I mean, that's one of the teams that's played together the most of anyone, right? I mean,
yeah.
Neo
probably has the longest streak right now. Actually,
yeah, right now they do right now. Anyone. They do. No, yeah. They do. Navi was the only other team that went a year without a roster change, and then Starks left for Flamey. Yeah, that broke their streak. So VP is the longest running team right now in terms of roster and lack of changes or keeping consistent rosters. So hats off to them in that regard, because I know there's been times of leadership change in terms of in-game leader for that team. There's been times of trouble. There were rumors for a little while there was going to be change, but they stuck with it, and they still remain in the top 6 teams in the world with all that going on. So hats off to them, and I really hope they stick together for more. That's one of the adoring facts about them, I think. Helps build the fans. I mean, consistency is good for fanship too, right?
Oh yeah, no, it's kind of hard to root for a team if it's never the same players, right? I mean, that's the problem a lot of people have in Dota. You don't really have a favorite team anymore because that team is not the same as it was 3 weeks ago. But yeah, no, definitely kudos to Virtus Pro, and it's going to be fun to watch them play whenever the next game is. Do we actually have the next game scheduled for
I do believe the next game scheduled is... It's not actually showing up on here, but if I bring up the actual schedule, Virtus Pro TSM is scheduled for July 20th. Now, we know July 20th is Monday. That's a travel day after Valencia, so that might get pushed just on the fact that the teams might not be back in time. It is Europe. It's not like it's far flights, but they're going to be tired. They're going to be exhausted. TSM, Virtus Pro obviously have a chance to do some damage in that tournament. Of course, there is a hefty pool of teams there. Kinguin also joining in for Envious today, in case you didn't catch that news. So, yeah, I would say that's the next schedule's map, but that might be postponed, which is why we haven't listed it on today's matches or the next upcoming matches on this screen. But nonetheless, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We are in the playoffs, and it's going to be over before the end of the month. We'll find out who the winner of the inaugural season is, the $50,000 prize pool. And it's going to be shaping up to be pretty interesting so far, with Kinguin going out to Penta. Penta punching above their weight in this league for sure.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be really fun to see. But yeah, that's it for tonight.
This afternoon for me, tonight for you, wherever you are in the world. Thanks so much. We'll see you again next time, guys. Bye-bye.
The saga begins. Begin war.